I'm just gonna miss being able to send this through corners, even though it doesn't corner that well with run flats. All right, so today we're saying goodbye to my BMW 340i, and it's a sad day in many ways, but I figured since I already put a video out on this car, a more full in-depth review, I figured let's kind of give a wrap of what 3 years of ownership has been like with the F30 340i. In this particular case, it's a ZHP package, which again, if you're not familiar with, go check that first video out. But things have changed actually since early January when I put that video out. One, my hair is a lot longer, but two, the market is absolutely crazy now, and these kind of 340s that were in that mid-20s to mid-30s range are now more like in that mid-30s to mid-40s range. And as things have changed, I figured I'd give one last little conclusive thought, because maybe you're considering buying one of these at $40,000, and I've gotten a lot of questions, so hopefully for those of you who've asked, you're seeing this video and this is going to answer some questions. Without further ado, this is going to be a quick, short, fun, different type of video. Let's get out onto the road. All right, let's start off the right way. The quick little launch control. Only done this like 3 times in this car, believe it or not, so gotta do one before I give the car back. Ooh. Very theatric. 60, oh my God, that was theatric. Holy cow. Okay, maybe I should have done it more while I owned this car. That was crazy. In order to do launch control, you need to throw the car into a Sport Plus and leave it in Sport transmission, and it does the rest of the work for you. Wow, that was really exhilarating. That kind of just reminded me of why I chose this car. And a large portion of this video, which is going to be a short video, but a large portion of it is going to be, if I had to do it all over again, would I still pick this over, say, a C43, over, say, an Audi S4, S5? Well, the short, quick answer is I would not do it any different. I would still have chosen this car, especially for the fact that this is a ZHP, which gives you that MPPSK, M Performance Power and Sound Kit, which sounds great. And in this particular case, with the ZHP, I get an M Performance LSD as well. So just such a sweet, sweet setup. So exhilarating, so exciting. And that Sheriff just scared me. But yeah, I mean, I love how exciting this car is for its segment. Now, what that means is, sure, this is not going to compete with an M2, an M3, an M4, so on and so forth. Same would go with a C63, an Audi RS5. But for its segment, for this kind of mid-level performance vehicle, I love it. And the fact that still, with the new generation, with the M340s and M440s, they are the only one in their main segment, at least between the Mercedes, the Bimmer, and the Audi, that still come in rear-wheel drive, or at least optionally in rear-wheel drive. I'm a huge proponent of that, and this car has been so exciting to own. And coming from an all-wheel drive car, I've owned rear-wheel drive cars previous to that all-wheel drive car, but coming directly from an all-wheel drive car, it's just been so much fun to be able to occasionally get the rear end out just a little bit, or even there on a launch control, feel the drama and theater of a little bit of wheel spin, and it's just a blast. So moving on from that point, there have been some cons to F30 ownership. Steering just absolutely blows, and it's the weakest point of owning this particular car. It's numb. It doesn't give you a lot of, well, it gives you no feedback practically, and it also doesn't give you a whole lot of confidence, especially when you get into the twisties. Now, this has been only made worse in this particular car with a set of run flat tires. I never ended up changing them. I did replace my tires, so I did put on run flats again, unfortunately. The only positive is being that this is my first legitimate rear-wheel drive car with a LSD. My previous rear-wheel drive car it had an open diff, didn't have an LSD. I figured when I was going to get new tires, I might as well extra cook those old tires with some donuts, so you guys get to enjoy that footage now. First time in my life that I've done some real proper donuts and laid a whole lot of rubber down. But overall, as I mentioned, I haven't done many launch controls. I'm not into doing donuts and stuff because I like to preserve my car, and I also don't want to just waste money on tires constantly. The real best part of this car though, and the thing that I'm going to miss the most, and I've kind of saved the best for last in this case, is the sound. I mean, this thing just sounds fantastic. And when you put this car into Sport Plus, which I'll do right now, and you might not be able to hear too much through the lav mic, but if I go to third gear, go to about 6K and let off, it just snap, crackle, pop. It's, you know, burbles for days, gunshots occasionally. It sounds so good. And it's an exciting car to drive, largely due to that sound. It sounds better than a standard exhaust on an F80, M3, or M4 for sure. So that was a huge draw of this car. It's why I named or titled that video, the bigger video of this car, as the Perfect Baby M3, because it gave you some of the aspects of a more high level performance car while keeping that price a little lower, definitely when it came to leasing, which is what I did. So I'm gonna miss that sound. I just plugged the valves actually back into plugged the cables back in, so the valves now operate again. I had them stuck fully open, so in the old video, I think when I started it, the cold start was super loud. When I revved it, even in comfort mode, it was loud. Now it starts up a bit quiet, and when you rev it in comfort mode, there's a large difference between that and Sport or Sport Plus. You can hear the valves open, so check that out. But all in all, I've really enjoyed my time with the 340. You know, besides the crappy tires and the lackluster steering, the car itself is pretty well sorted. And these later F30s, this being an LCI, and on top of all of it again is EHP with that M Performance LSD, they're a pretty strong package, and they're a pretty overlooked car. Well, they were an overlooked car, I should say, back when they were new, because a lot of people were at the time considering the all-new Audi S4s that were coming out, and the C43 craze had begun with that being an AMG, supposedly. So these got overlooked, but this B58 motor, the same motor that, well, effectively the same motor you'll find in the likes of a Supra, effectively the same motor you'll find in the likes of a brand new M340, M440, the new M240, it's a hell of a motor. And it's a stout, strong, capable motor with a very strong block, as you can see in a lot of those Supra videos. People get these up to 600-ish horsepower with minimal hardware. So being that it's such a potent power plant, being that it's such a capable car, you don't have many, you know, I don't have many qualms with it. I was able to have a great time driving it as a city car. I think it's not quite as capable as a canyon car, obviously, especially when you start comparing it to the likes of an M2 or an M3. Those are gonna just smash this in the canyons. But on roads, I mean, quick, a nice sounding exhaust. I mean, what else can you ask for? Comfortable car on top of all of that, arguably more comfortable than the likes of an M2 or M3. Suspension's a bit too stiff on those cars unless you go with the adaptive suspension, which the M2 doesn't come with unless you get a CS, but you know, the M3s. But the point is, you get this comfortable, balanced, mid-level vehicle. I had a good time with it, and right now, at the price point they're at, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not a buyer at $40,000 when it comes to this car. As great as it is and as awesome as it's been to own one of these, it's a whole lot of coin for a car that I know really shouldn't cost that much. And it's just at that price right now because they're not discounting brand new M340s. In fact, many dealerships are marking them up, and that delta as it grows just pulls these up with it. You used to be able to get an M340 up until about 8, 9, 10 months ago, maybe a year ago, for easily $5,000 off sticker, and that $5,000 off sticker put that car into the $50,000 range and kept these still in the $30,000 range. And now that those have gone up into the 60s without discounts, these are into the 40s. It's just a game. I don't know if I'm trying to play it personally. But those are just my thoughts. I think 40,000-ish is a lot of money for these cars, but that's what the market demands. So if you have it and if you want it, it's a fun car. But otherwise, I'd maybe hold off and wait to see how the market corrects itself by midway, if not the end of next year, if you can. I will say that this, especially ZHP with the LSD, is all the way to an M340, aside from a different chassis and aside from different tech on the inside, but dynamically just about as capable. Even has the same steering rack unfortunately, for the M340. I'm not gonna say that I've raced a stock rear-wheel drive M340, but this is arguably even quicker. All right, so with all of that said, I hope you guys are as excited as I am to see what my next car is gonna be, but you are gonna have to wait and see. And with all of that said, if you guys have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. New videos are dropping every single week on Fridays. Like, comment, let me know what you guys want to see. I'll do my best to make it happen. As always, this is Rio. Peace out.